So this is proof that it's what's inside that counts. Our potato patch looked terrible this year. Between work and kids and outside homestead, farming, gardening, obligations, our potato patch has gotten away from us. We've actually had a pretty bad gardening year this year. We should have got out here a little sooner to harvest. Looks like a dead potato patch. We've got weeds all over. And these little guys, they get bigger and they'll stab you right in the hands. But as I'm pulling up these plants that are all falling back and dead, I am pulling out tons and tons and tons of potatoes. We planted white russet, I think is what they were this year. Red northern and purple potatoes. Our purple potatoes were our own potatoes last year. I think we ordered them from Haas last year, and we had a really good harvest. We kept a bunch of them in the off season, put them in a paper bag on top of the counters, or cabinets rather, not the counters, and just let them sprout throughout the year. And grew our own starts. See, there's a good one. Last year, we have a barrel over there where we ran irrigation down, drip irrigation, where we could fill it up, and we just never got to it this year. So this is kind of what nature gave us with rain. We bought some starts for our whites and our reds this year from Rural King, big 100-pound bag or 50-pound bag is what it was. But we've done it before where we harvest with the close-tine pitchfork, and that works really well. This year, I think I'm just being lazy, but it's easier to drag my tub behind me, just dig my hand in the dirt, see what we got. Every plant's had good potatoes, though. I don't think you have to do too much, at least in northern Indiana, to grow some decent potatoes. So that was the start. So all those potatoes I just pulled out came from that start. See if we can get one with the start attached, because it's kind of cool. See the start attached. And I think what we'll do for preserving some of this anyways is try to preserve the smaller ones and keep the bigger ones for eating for dinner. Okay, so here's a good example of one poking out of the ground. So I'm checking it for green. I don't know how long it's been uncovered. I don't see any green on that potato. I think that's still a good potato. I saw some that was almost all uncovered. It's probably a good example of green potato, if I can find it. Here we go. So this one obviously wasn't covered up very well. Let me move some weeds out of the way for you. All right, so this is green potato. That is potato we would not eat. When we get these, that looks all right. That's no good. All of this is no good. That's no good. I don't want to eat that. I don't know if I can maybe cut that out and eat the rest, but I'm not taking any chances getting sick for a potato. These ones that are green, right onto the compost pile. I had about given up on the idea of getting potatoes this year because we were such bad potato gardeners, farmers. These little guys poke you, grab them down by the root underground. I've stabbed myself with those things more than I want to admit. So there's our start. That's what we had cut and chitted. We plant them eyes to the sky. Get that out of here. Let's see what that one little chunk of potato gave us. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 good potatoes from that one little chunk. It's amazing how they do it. I know there's some kind of tool or implement we could put on the tractor to make this easier. I don't know what it is and I don't have it. If I had it, I would be using it. As much as I don't mind doing it this way, if I could get it all done without being down in the dirt, probably would. My wife is wearing gloves. She's smarter than I am. If I painted my fingernails, I'd probably wear gloves too. We've never canned potatoes before. We want to try this year. We've never grown this many potatoes before either. I look like I'm doing this all by myself, but I don't. My wife does a lot of it. I don't think potatoes are very demanding. They're probably our easiest to grow, easiest to plant and forget about after you get them held. A little bit of prep work to dig your trenches, grow up. All that from an overgrown potato patch. It's pretty good. Let's see how these reds look. The reds still got a lot of life on them. We use neem oil. What else do we use on these?
Vinegar and soap. I did spray, but it's not seeming to do anything right now, which maybe it will later. And I used the vinegar and soap. I put some peppermint oil in there. This is all just an experiment, and whatever we find that works, we'll share.
Vinegar and
we went
soap.
through and picked them off and squished them and tried to get rid of them like that. And these potato bugs were hard to get rid of.
Yeah, I see one. I'll show you.
Here's a big nasty one. I think that's when it's an adult. They hide under all of the leaves. So there's a bunch. There's some, and then there are bigger ones. There's a whole cluster right there. But if you take your plant, super gently give it a shake, and then you can see them all fly off. And then you can either pick them up or squish them. The only thing that stinks with that is that you won't see your eggs. I haven't seen any, but it's going to be a little yellow cluster.
Like little babies, like radishes. So now reinforcements are arriving. The kids are going to start pulling potatoes with us. We'll get this all picked, and then we'll check out what our load looks for this year. For potatoes 2023. Decision was made not to pull out the reds today. As we were pulling them, too many of them still look too small. But I think they still got a little bit of grow time left. But what we got from the whites, 4 pretty good baskets. And then our purples, 2 pretty good baskets. Not bad for letting nature do all the watering. Oh, so now we get to load it onto the workhorse. Man, these baskets are lifesaver. It's easier to pick up and shake when it's not so full. So now we've got our table set up. We put some burlap and a blanket down. We're going to try and keep the potatoes off of the plastic so that they can dry. Well, there's a better way to do this than what I'm doing. This is what I was doing. But we'll get them all spread out. Look for any nasty ones with bruises, rips, tears, exposed meat. Get rid of those. And just let them harden up a little bit. But these potatoes were potatoes grown after we had forgotten to, I don't know, we didn't really forget. Like I said earlier, you get busy. You get busy, other things happen. You'll say you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, something else comes up. I didn't think we were going to have a very good potato harvest. These potatoes were primarily watered just by Mother Nature. And we did a terrible job keeping weeds out of the rows. But the point is to just do it. Just plant them. You've got some eyes on your potatoes. Put them in the ground in spring. Do your best. Everybody who does a garden, everybody says the same thing. Next year is going to be better. Next year, we will do better.